Hey, what's going on? So, I wanted to jump on and have a conversation with you about building assets. That's right, assets. One of the key pieces to our building assets, building wealth, taking things to the next level is understanding number one, what is an asset? Number two, how do we build assets, right? I've been an entrepreneur for over 11 years. I've been really an entrepreneur with unofficially since I was 12 years old. I've always looked at my life and said, how can I take it to the next level? How can I go to the next level? So I wanted to spend a few minutes just talking with you about 10 things that I think that we can all do in 2022 to build assets. Let's go. We start to think about assets. We think about things that have value. These are things that add value. They gain in value and appreciation. There's something that you can pass on to other generations. And what we've learned in the past is that there were really only a couple of assets that really we could pass on. But the world has opened up. It used to be that you pass down a house, you pass down a trust, a will, and I'll get to those, and they're still important. But for some of us, we're not able to get our hands on those types of assets. We don't own our homes. We don't own our cars. We don't own our cell phones. We don't own these things, right? We're striving for that. But right now, millennials, we make up a lot of debt in this country, trillions of dollars of debt. But I think it's like $14 trillion worth of debt that we possess because of student loans, because of credit card debt, because bad choices and foreclosures and just you name it. There's so many things in there. And let me just say this, I'm not a financial guy, okay? I'm just a regular guy trying to do better about his money. So with that being said, I want to give you some of my tips, some of the things that I think are vitally important for building wealth. Number one, real estate. You cannot build wealth without real estate. Now you may be saying, I don't even own a home yet. Personally, I feel where you're coming from. I'm in a place in my life where that's still not a realized dream for me. I'm looking to head towards that direction, but I have not gotten there yet. And so by sharing that, what I want to tell you is that this is something that we have aspirations to do, but we're striving towards these things. But one of the things that you can do is you can start partnering with other people because there's other people who have the same dreams that you have. And so seek these people out. Start talking about this. Start talking about some of the aspirations that you want to accomplish. And maybe there's someone out there that you can put some savings together with and partner with them and you flip a house together. This is a great way to enter into the market and start to get your feet wet. Now, obviously, exercise caution when you're thinking about going into these. Do your homework, do your research, make sure you ask a lot of good questions because there's things that go into this. But partnership is a way to go. Number two, new stocks. There's so many different ways to invest now. It's ridiculous. There's apps. I'm not going to mention any of them on here because they're not paying me to mention them. But there's apps out there. There is new ways to do things. Get with a financial advisor. One of the biggest misconceptions is that you got to have money to have a financial advisor. That is so not true. You can start working with a financial advisor with $5 in your investment account. Because the idea is to build an asset, not just to have an asset, it's to build it. And so the way to build it is you start getting with people who understand money, who understand, how things work. And I'll put some links in the description of companies that I think are companies that you might want to check out. Again, nobody's paying me to say this, so I'm not going to mention anyone by name on here. But this is something that you want to do. And before we go any further, I'd love for you to click and or subscribe to the channel. I'm looking to grow my channel. I want to do this with you and I want to do this with you. All right. Ownership in your business. And this is for entrepreneurs because one of the things that we don't realize is that in our business, we still don't have complete ownership. You may be leasing equipment. You may be financing equipment. You may have debts. You may have commitments to family members because they loaned you money. You may have people who have a stock in your company. I want you to think about how can you own your own business. Now, you may say to yourself, I started the business, I created it, it belongs to me. That's not necessarily true because you can get in debt And when you get in debt, you start owing the bank. You start owing the financial institutions. And when you owe them money, they, in essence, have a stake in your company, because if you default on those loans, they can come after you with judgments. They can come after you in small claims court. They can come after you with a variety of ways. And so you want to be careful not to borrow too much money. You want to have a plan for that, because if you don't have a plan for it, you end up like I've ended up a couple of times, where you'll be over leveraged. And when you're over leveraged, that means that there's too much money going out and not enough money coming in. So you want to be careful with that. Do you own your relationships? Do you own the relationships that you have in your life? What I mean by that is this is not a tangible item. This is an intangible ownership. Also is, can you call 10 people right now and do business with them? When you own the relationship, when you have quality relationship, you have a stake in it. You're valuable. There's a partnership. There's a doing things together that with this other person, things are produced, right? You can have that with key relationships. You got to take ownership though. You have to start reaching out to quality people. Many of us reach out to people who are not beneficial to our future. They may be beneficial to our past and maybe even beneficial to our present. But how many people are beneficial to our future and where we're really trying to go? And so you want to be careful not to just have friends in your life that agree with you on everything. You want to have people in your life that push you, and you go after those relationships, because key relationships are the key to building wealth. Something I'm doing here is I'm looking to build my digital footprint. I want to increase my digital presence. So I'm sacrificing my Friday night to be here with you recording this video, because I want to make sure that I'm sending out the message that, hey, I want to be a guy that has a voice in the world. I want to make sure that my voice is heard, my opinions matter. I want to make sure that I'm able to offer up good content, because I have cousins, I have sisters, I have brothers, I have people that follow me from a distance, and I want to make sure that I'm being a positive influence in their life. And so by doing what I'm doing, I'm building my digital footprint. I'm taking ownership of that. And so even though my content is here on YouTube, I have complete control of it. So I get to tell people what I want to post and what I don't want to post. So digital products matter as we move into the fourth revolution, Web 3.0, as we move into the metaverse, as we move into crypto land. And I'll talk about that in just a second. But as we move further into a new realm of life, you want to be thinking about your digital footprint. And some of these things are learning courses, YouTube videos, new skills, teaching new skills. Building assets require us to make sacrifices. And number 9 is online savings. You want to move your money into a place where it can grow. Now, this money is obviously money that you want to make sure that you have access to in the case of an emergency. But in the end, what you want to be able to do is have a product